All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we are going over, like I said, today, Real Scout. And once you go to the Real Scout login page, there are gonna be two sides to it. So as you can see, one of them is an agent side on the right. And if you go over here to a home buyer login here, if you're a home buyer, it would ask for your home buyer credentials. But today we're going to be working on the agent side. So I'm going to go ahead and click login. I have my username and password saved. I'm going to go ahead and click login. Just a second here. And then once you log into your Real Scout dashboard, what you get is on the left is all of your navigational panels. In the center, you have your dashboard. On the right, you have any recent conversations or notifications. Up top, you have how many active clients you've had, how many homes have been viewed, and how many emails have been opened today. Towards the middle, right here, you have some quick links, engage clients with email alerts, enhance lists and presentations, learn more about markets, and market my Real Scout platform. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to go over a feature that was added last year around this time by Real Scout. And what that feature is an auto nurture feature. And the reason why I am going over this first is because there is a way that you can enable this for all contacts that you add or that are already added in your Real Scout. So most of the time it will be disabled the first time you log into your Real Scout account. So to turn it on, you go ahead and click on turn on auto nurture right here. Now it's gonna say that it is enabled for the automation status. And then what you want to do is automation mode. You wanna click on update settings and make sure that it is selected for all new contacts. Or you can have it applied to certain contacts, but I do all of my contacts. So all new contacts are gonna be added to this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Whoops. And then all you have to do is just select one of those two sections. You don't have to click save, just click out of that window and it will be saved. And what auto nurture does is it sets up email alerts for your clients and it sends them relevant listen alerts, home value alerts, or market activity alerts to those specific contacts. It also auto updates the alerts. So their search criteria can be updated based on the contact activity. So if they've viewed a home that was not sent to them, but they found on Real Scout on their own, their search criteria will automatically update. And then the third part of the auto nurture is the email drips, which is this part right here, which is tailored email campaigns based on their alerts. So again, in a market with low inventory, your clients are still going to be getting emails in regard to real estate listings, right? It's kind of automated. That's the good thing about the auto nurture, automated nurturing, right? Built right in. And then if you have any questions as to how much control you have, how do listen alerts create by auto nurture update, frequently asked questions are towards the bottom. So if you have any questions on how it all works or anything like that, those answers are all right here. So again, like I said, I have it enabled for all of my clients. It doesn't matter, you know, if they're third-time home buyers or fifth-time home buyers or first-time home buyers. I have it enabled for all of my clients. So that is a new feature that they rolled out last year. It's awesome. And then the next thing I'm gonna go through is how to add a client, okay? So you would click add client / alert up here. You want to add their email. Their first name, I always do their first name and their last name, just in case you happen to have a client who has the same first name. You wanna make sure you're with the right Ashley, or the right Tim, or the right Matt, or the right Jackie, or the right Lisa. You know, cause there are those common names, and then if you want to do their phone number, you can, a source is optional. Any tags that you wanted to type, and Real Scout also did recently update this on the bottom of the client alert, where you can select if they're a buyer, a buyer and seller, or other. So other would be if they're an investor, or if they're looking for commercial, or if they're looking for land or something like that, you could always classify them as other. So Ashley's gonna be a buyer today. So we can go ahead and click create client. Once you create client, it's gonna come up with this window, and it's gonna ask you, what type of alert do you wanna set up? Or do you wanna invite client to create their own alert? So if you invite the client to create their own alert, they will receive an email that, I just had this up, that looks like this. Welcome to Real Scout. You now have access to search complete and accurate properly listings. You would click get started, and then once you click on get started, it's gonna ask them for some information, and then the next button, and they can set up their search criteria, which I've already gone through this process. So they could just go through and do commercial, lots, lands, multifamily, whatever they wanted to look for. And then they would click next, what they like or what they would like for features next. And then it'll give them a list of properties, and we will go back to this in just a few minutes. So once we do list and alert, right, so we're back to the agent side. So we're creating the alert for our client. The client is not creating it just yet. So now what we're gonna do is, because I have two MLSs listed, so yes, you can have more than one MLS listed in Real Scout. It would say cross MLS search. So if you have a client who wants to look in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and you have both licenses associated with your Real Scout account, you can only do a basic search criteria. And what do I mean by that? So if you are searching multiple MLSs at once in Real Scout, you won't be able to search by more of the unique features that Real Scout offers, such as a school district or a school boundary for a particular school in a particular school district. It will just be your more of a basic search. You know, what their maximum price is, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the cities, the towns, stuff like that. But what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna do an MLS pin search. We're gonna click on customize alert. And then you can go ahead and fill in the criteria. So we're gonna do active. We don't want reactivated, we don't want. So we want active, new, and price change, the property type. We want residential, the property subtype. We'll do single family. The list price, we will do a minimum price of $450, a maximum price of $550. Okay, so each time you input certain criteria, your results up here are gonna diminish. So we started, right? So if I get rid of the price, we started with just right around 1,300 results for single family residential in the state of Mass. So now that we're gonna enter a price, right? Price range, I should say, our results are gonna change. So now our results went down to 569. So the more criteria you enter, the more your results are gonna change. So now that I have the 3-bed, 2-bath, we're down to 352 results. So you can go through and, you know, if you have an elderly client or a client who has health problems or just likes to be on the first floor, you can go ahead and have the primary bedroom on the first floor. You can select that. You can put in their living area, architectural style, if you have somebody who wants, let's say, 3 acres of land, you can put that in there. And now we have 333 results for properties with 3 acres, but let's say they want a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 3. We can put that in there, so now we get 9 results within this search parameter, right? So within our price range and 2 to 3 acres of land, we get 9 results. I will say, if you do this same search in MLS, and you have, for example, 12 properties in MLS, but only 9 in Real Scout, check how the town is spelt in MLS. For example, if it is Marlboro, Scarborough, anything with an OUGH and the UGH is left off, it may not transfer over to Real Scout. It may not. Real Scout towns or listings populate based upon how the town is spelled. So the town has to be grammatically correct, spelling wise, for it to show up in Real Scout. I did learn that a couple months ago because we did have an agent who had some variation. We couldn't figure out why. I reached out to Real Scout support and they said that if the towns are not spelled grammatically correct or spelled properly according to Real Scout, they will not be pulled from MLS. So the further you go down, you can do if they want to be in an association. If they are looking for a multifamily, you can put the minimum and the maximum number of units they're looking for. If they want to be by water, you can do a status change, so listed or status changed within the past 7 days. You can do that, and again, if there is anything in that criteria, it'll come up, so it's thinking right now, but it doesn't look like there's anything. You can do the last 30 days, the last 10, so now we have 4 results. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, and then if you had somebody who wanted to be in a particular county, particular city, you could go ahead and enter those, or zip code. Again, the school boundaries, certain elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, you can put in. If they want certain features, you can put that in. If they want waterfront, association amenities, if they're looking at a condo, if pets are allowed, you can say yes or no, or yes with restrictions. Horse amenities, so we have offices in Florida, so horse amenities, I think the option is paddocks, which I think is equivalent to stables. So you do have that option as well. You have a date, so if you wanna go by like list and contract date, you can put that in here. And then if you were inquiring about open houses, you could do only homes with open houses, only homes with photos, or only homes with open houses this weekend. You could check that box if you want. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to the top and we're gonna do save to client. It's gonna ask us to choose a client, so we're gonna select Ashley. You can name this search Ashley MA Home Search. The alert schedule, I changed this to ASAP. If you select handpicked, you would have to go through the listings and go through each listing, and then you would have to manually send it to your clients. If you do ASAP monthly or daily, it will automatically send your clients emails with listings. So I do ASAP, and then I also click send copy to myself. And the reason why I do send copy to myself is because anytime a client is sent a listing, I'm gonna get that same email that they're going to receive. So if I'm out on the road all day showing and I don't have access to Real Scout on my computer, I can see on my phone, on my email, what listings they've been sent throughout the day. And then I can see, you know, I can always log into the Real Scout app on my phone and get some more information. But I love the desktop version of Real Scout a little bit better, more than I like mobile version, because on the mobile version, it doesn't have everything that it has on the desktop version. So we're gonna go ahead and click create search. And it's gonna create the search. And you have an option to send these listings now or not. So we're gonna do not send. And now that we have selected do not send, they're gonna show up in our queue. So if we were to send these, it would show up in the sent. And if we were to delete any or get rid of any, it would show up in the trash. So now what we can do is we can go through these, right? We can just click on Dogwood Road. And it's gonna give us all of the photos from MLS. It's gonna give us the price, the square feet, the listing date, the MLS ID number. The beds, the baths, the square feet, the lot size. The property description. If there's open houses. A map of where the property is, right? So if you wanted to see how close it was to the nearest highway or the nearest state route, you could go ahead and zone out or zone in on the map or zoom in, zoom out, not zone. And then if there were any private details, general showing instructions would be listed. The unit information is listed, the building information, taxes, exterior feature, location, expenses, utilities, it's all listed here on the left. And then over here on the right, you can view the listing as a home buyer. So now that we're viewing it as a home buyer, right? So this is what your client would see. So now that we're in the client version, right, we can say, okay, we're gonna tell Ashley that we like this house. We can rate it out of 5 stars, right? So we're gonna go 4 out of 5. We can do, we like the aesthetic, we like the features, we like the kitchen. We're iffy on the neighborhood, we don't like the schools or the view. The condition is okay, the floor plan, the location, the price, the size, the yard, right? We can do that. And then we can also do, has these specific features, what do you like, right? So full basement, we love that. We love that it's near a fire station. We love that it's near trails. We love that it has a garage. We love that it has a level lot and it's a wooded lot, right? So now we're saving all of this information. And what's great about this is that once we go back to the agent dashboard, all of this information is gonna show up in our dashboard. And I like this because in MLS, your client can dislike or like a property. Okay. Well, great. What did Ashley like about that property? So now I'm gonna have to call her, text her, or email her and say, hi, Ashley, it's Ashley with Alair. You know, I just wanted to call and see what you liked or didn't like about 44 Dogwood Road, North Hubbardston, Mass, right? But this Real Scout, it's given me all of that information, right? So now, if I close out of the property and I go to my dashboard and I see in my live feed, I have all of this information right here. I can see that Ashley liked the property. I can see she rated it 4 out of 5 stars. I can see the specifics of what she liked and didn't like about this specific property. So now I can say, okay, great. I know she loves this property. Does she want to go to the open house or does she want me to schedule a showing prior to the open house? Excellent. I've learned all of that information just by looking in my Real Scout dashboard without even having to call my client, right? Love that. Does every client do this? No. Do I tell all of my clients what they can do in Real Scout? Yes. Do clients always listen to us? No, right? We can only guide them as far as they are willing to go, right? So we can give them all the tools. It's up to them if they want to use them and utilize them, how we explain them to them, right? And then if you have somebody who has viewed a property more than once, it'll say second time, right? So this yellow button or this orange button means they've viewed the property. This eye icon means that they've viewed it, right? And then if we go down, you can see if it's a red circle with a thumbs down, it means they didn't like the property. If it is The envelope is a circle. I forget what color it is, but if it's a circle with a closed envelope, they haven't opened that email. I'm just waiting for this to load a little bit more. So right here is the one that is the thumbs down, meaning they didn't like the property. If it is a graph, it means that they've viewed a home value alert that either they've created or you've created for them. I was trying to find the icon with the closed envelope to see what color it is, because if it's a closed envelope, that means that that client has not opened that email. I just don't remember what color that circle is. So anytime you see a circle with a closed envelope, that means that that client has not opened that email yet. So that's information that you can get. And then also, if you go into it, go into the listing, right? It would give you the listing information or the listing agent's information, the nearby schools, the listing history, your remarks. So if you say, love the location, it has the yard and the big kitchen you're looking for, you can put that in here and say that. And then once you send this to your clients, will see what you think of the house as well. And then if you have a client who is conscientious about the climate or global warming, stuff like that, they can do a climate risk rating. So again, it's gonna vary day by day, it's gonna vary season by season, even area by area. So this gives the drought risk, the storm risk, the temperature risk, the fire risk, and the flood risk. So they wanted the full report. They could always tell you, you would click on get a full report. It's gonna open in a new page. It takes a little bit because of all of the data that's associated with it. And then get your free full report, you would click on that. It can email them, you select which describes you, stuff like that, and then it would email the report. I think it can vary, so I think it's from like 40 to 80 pages, maybe, give or take. But it is a very large report. So that is how you would set up a client alert. But what we didn't do is we did not send it to our client. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into Ashley right here. So you click on your contacts, you go to the contact that you want. And then we can click on the edit button because we're gonna edit the listing alerts. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on all the houses that we wanna send to Ashley that we think she would like. And then we're gonna do send 3. And now you can do, hello, Ashley, here. Oops. Here are 3 listings I think you are going, oops, to like that match your criteria. And then you can send it. Again, you can do your signature. So now if we go to the sent, we have the 3 properties that were in the sent. And now what we're gonna do with this last one is we're just gonna delete it, and it's gonna show up in the trash folder because we know Ashley's not gonna like that one, right? So we're trying to find one that Ashley's gonna really like, okay? So now, if we go back to the email, our email, we should receive an email that says Ashley sent you 3 listings. It's gonna tell us the price, the address, just, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and stuff like that. And then if we wanted to view the details, we would click on view details. And now we can go ahead and see all of the details that we saw previously, and we can like certain amenities and certain features, etc. And once we do that, it's gonna show up in the live feed. So anytime anything is added, it's gonna show up in your live feed, or anytime a client likes a property or dislikes a property or opens an email, it's gonna keep tally of that all right here in your live feed for you. The next thing I'm gonna go over is a market activity alert, home value alerts you can set up, right? So it's kind of like a quick estimate of value. Again, it doesn't take into account everything that a CMA would. So I tell my clients, if you want to use it just to get an idea, you can, but don't expect that exact value when I do the CMA, because the CMA does take into account a lot more than just the quick home value alert, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go set up a market activity alert. We're gonna go to the dashboard. And what I like about the market activity alerts is that you can use it for your buyers, but you can also use it for sellers. So we're gonna create a new alert. We are going to do, let's just do the Chelmsford market, Chelmsford, Mass. So if you wanted to, you could do the entire town, or if you had somebody who wanted to be in a specific section of the town, you could zone in. You could clear the shape, and then you could draw. So let's just say we want to be in this area, so you would do 1 square, 2 square, 3, or I should say points, 4, and then you always want to bring your 4th point back to your 1st point to connect them and to close this. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a minimum price and a maximum price. And then we're gonna preview the market activity alert, and it's gonna give us a map. And I like to call this a heat index map, and you will see why in a second. Oh, so over the last 90 days in this specific area of Chelmsford, there's been no buyers and no buyer interactions. This data is only data gathered from within RealScout. It doesn't take into account data from MLS itself. Still 0 over the last 60 days. What about the last 30 days? Is it gonna give us any data? No data. So now what we can do is we can go back and we can edit this, and we can clear the shape. And now what we can do is we can just clone out, and we can do the town. So we'll just do the entire town. We can keep our price point the same, and now we're gonna do preview market activity. The default market activity time frame is 90 days. But you can always select 60, 30, 180, or 365. So over the last 30 days for the town of Chelmsford, excuse me, we have 153 active buyers and 469 number of buyer interactions. And these circles with the colors show us the relative popularity and where those hot listings are, or where the top viewed listings are. So if we go down and we go to a specific day in this graph, right? So if we go to August 1st, there was 36 buyers in the town of Chelmsford on August 1st, right? And we see this by just moving our mouse across the graph. And the further down we go, it's gonna give us the top viewed properties. It's gonna give us the outline of the town, where they are in that town. And then it's gonna give us all of the properties on the right-hand side. So let's say we wanted to look at Wellman Ave, we can click on that, and it's gonna bring us to all of that property information for Wellman Ave. We can scroll through the pictures, the information, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason why I like this is because if I am writing an offer for a client, I will come and pull this report. And if, let's say, Wellman Ave, right, was one of, so 735 Wellman Ave was a property my client was interested in. I know it's a top viewed listing. Okay, so with a top viewed listing, I'm gonna change our strategy a little bit, right? We might see if the lender can do a quicker close than your standard 30-day, right? We might see if they could do a 21-day close. We might do a home inspection cap, right? And what I mean by that is we might say, okay, anything over $5,000 in value worth of repairs, we will come back for, right? So if it's like a couple light bulbs that need to be changed or an outlet cover that needs to be replaced, we're not gonna go to the seller and have them do that. We can do that when we move in, right? Not a big deal. But if it's something like the roof needs to be repaired or the hot water tank is leaking and is on its last leg, we're gonna go back to the seller for that, right? So different strategies that you can use to strengthen your offer a little bit for your clients, right? And then on the flip side, I use this same report for sellers because if I have a seller who thinks their house is up here, but the market says it should be down here, right? And my CMA says it should be down here too. I can use this report and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the data in your neighborhood, the data in the market shows your house should be valued here. Here are some other listings within your neighborhood, and this is where they're priced, right? So you can bring this factual data to your clients. In addition to the CMA, yes, the CMA is factual data, but how often or how, what was the time frame that you did the CMA? Did you do it the morning of your listing appointment? Did you do it a week before? If you did it a week before, did you go back and update it, right? So this information is information that is up to date. So we can see right here that this has information up until yesterday, right? So yesterday in Chelmsford alone, there was 16 buyers. So we can see how many buyers there were over the last 30 days, all from this graph, right? So I will take my computer, but at the same time, you can always print this information and have it and give it to your sellers, right? And then you can see what's recently listed and what's recently updated. So that's how I use it for sellers and for buyers. So on the buy side, I use it to structure our offers, right? If it's a top viewed property, how can we better structure our offer? On the flip side for sellers, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is what the market is saying your house is. This is everything going on in your neighborhood, right? Get them to see the data, to see what the market is saying, right? That's how I use this. And then if you wanted to schedule it, you could schedule it on a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis, quarterly, or manual. So if you do manual, you would just have to send it to your client at a specific time. So you would go over here, select a client. We're gonna go to Ashley. We're gonna do save market alert to client. And now it's gonna save it. And bi-weekly, Ashley will get an automated report for the market activity for Chelmsford, right, within this price range for the last 30 days. The home value alert, you would just go into the dashboard and you would go to over here. Why is it not allowing me to create an alert? Create new alert. They've updated this section. So you would click create alert, you would select a client. You can enter their home address, right? Or their vacation home address if it's a second home or something like that. And then you would click create home value alert. And it will create an alert for us and it's gonna give us an update for this, and then it's gonna show successfully created. If you wanted to view it, you could click view. And now it's gonna say, here's what's happening. Want to learn more? Our third do not have an automated valuation for this property. Okay, so because I did a business, it's not gonna populate because I don't want to share my home address just for privacy reasons. So once you do this, it will, for a residential address, because I'm in a residential section, it will populate that estimated value. So that is how you create a home value alert, a listing alert, a market activity alert. If you have a client that says, Ashley, I don't want to be on Realsco anymore, can you delete me? Sure. So you click on your contacts. You click over here, find their name, go down to the three dots, click on the three dots, click delete, delete contact. And yes, we want to delete this contact, right? So again, you would go to the contact, click the three dots, click the delete button, delete contact, and then those contacts are now deleted. That is all I have for the Real Scout Lunch and Learn. If you are a Lair agent and you do have the tech bundle and you want one-on-one help, or you have questions on it, you can go to lairrealty.com/briefings, and you can fill out a form. Just select the programs that you want to have a one-on-one 30-minute call, and it will be with the staff member that handles that. So if it's Real Scout or ISAC or Boston Logic or Canva, it could be me. If it's something about transactional forms, it can be Lionel or Farah, for Florida. If it's something about, social media, it will be somebody from the social media team, right? So there's different staff members that do different, agent one-on-ones. And like I said, if you are a Lair agent, you can go ahead and fill that out. And if there are no questions, which I don't see any questions, that does it for me, and everyone have a good afternoon.